I think where Salesforce shines, right, is it's an aggregator of data across multiple platforms,
Yes.
right? It has business logic layer that help us do things like alerts, right? Or notifications out to, or make decisions, logical decisions. And I don't want to talk too much about the platform, but think about throwing CDP on top of Tableau with a reporting engine that looks at your workforce management. Do we have enough people to be able to staff and fulfill our orders, right, on the factory floor? Our machinery throughput, like how well are our machines chugging, right? Or they're dampering, is anything happening with the machines that's slowing down productivity? And then look at our inventory, right? And pull all that data together. You already understand what your sales agreements are, what you've agreed to sell. Pulling all that data together gives you predictability.
Absolutely.
Right? Which allows you to say, here are the customers that we believe we're going to service or not service. And in your case before, do I have a substitute widget? Right? That doesn't meet their exact spec or meets a spec, but I can use it in place of something that's not available in inventory.
Right. It's not reasonable to say that Salesforce, for example, Salesforce Revenue Cloud should be your product and price master, because it just doesn't make any sense. We just talked about this labyrinth of ERPs. These ERPs are where pricing and packaging is sourced. These are the systems of truth for the inventory you have, for your base price components, how much do the raw materials cost? What does your production schedule look like? That sort of thing. And we'd be remiss to suggest that you change any of that. But we'd be remiss to recommend changing any of that, to say, oh, all of a sudden, all the supply chain and all this product forecasting and all this production schedules and inventory needs to be somewhere else. But what Salesforce can do is call out to these systems. So it can give you, I discussed this engagement layer. It has an ability to say, all right, here's how we want to price and package, and here's some kind of predefined discounting rules or relationship rules that we want to put in place from a sales perspective. Not necessarily something that your supply chain needs to necessarily care about. But from a front office perspective, how can we package this together to make it easy for the customer? And how can we maybe offer suggestions? An intelligent design or a system based on intelligent design can say, hey, we don't have 300 widgets, but we have 700 gizmos. And we've identified that widgets and gizmos could be interchangeable. And that could happen either at the time you're contracting with the customer or perhaps after the fact. Perhaps you have force ranked your customers knowing that you don't have enough supply because there's been a hurricane in the Gulf or because there's been, a war in a particular geography of the world. This system can tell you, hey, let's recommend, here's the customers who we're pretty confident are going to get the product shipped, but here's the customers where you might have to make some recommendations on how to alternatively fulfill. The key point here is not just on the customer experience that's building. As a customer, I bought this. I'm relying on this to run my business. So your lack of availability by no fault of your own is going to negatively impact my business. So how's that going to impact my customer satisfaction score about you? Or how's that going to impact my customer loyalty about you or towards you? So it's not just about the customer, but then back office, finance isn't just accounts receivable. They're making decisions about pricing, but also, do we have enough cash or are we forecasting enough cash to come in to renovate our office space, to hire additional headcount? This revenue predictability is not just about the customer, but also these are driving strategic decisions within an organization.